Hello, welcome. It's a really beautiful afternoon actually. It's really warmed up and it's gorgeous. I've been working, but I also popped up to London very quickly. Took my daughter the table that I bought her yesterday and she absolutely loves it. I just pulled this book out of my bookcase and it's the Rubin book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. And I wanted to read something about sort of being ecstatic really when it comes to the arts, when it comes to music, when it comes to literature, when it comes to painting, when it comes to anything really. And I thought it was really interesting. So I'm going to see what you think and let me know what you think. The ecstatic. Have you ever felt pulled in as if entranced while listening to a piece of music? How about while reading a book or gazing at a painting? This may be one of the reasons you're drawn to creative work to begin with. The memory, the reoccurring experience, the sensory joy. It's like biting into a piece of fruit at the peak of its ripeness. Now think of everything held in a work that comes before the moment of perfect balance. All the experiments that miss the mark, the ideas that go nowhere, the difficult decisions that are made, the tiny adjustments that seem to change everything. I don't know if you've ever been in a recording studio before and listened to the process, watched and listened to the process. There's the raw recording and then it gets re-recorded and layered with all the different instruments and sounds and vocals and everything else. And then when they're kind of happy with it, it goes off to be mastered. And when it's mastered, it can then be remastered. And things come out which often sound very different. It's the sort of alchemy that happens when things get tweaked, things get left at the door, things that you know, sounds and bits, lyrics even that may have been what you may have thought of being core at the beginning of recording the song, just get left by the wayside and other things enter. Things which are spontaneous, things which, mistakes that happen, happy mistakes that happen in the studio. I mean, David Bowie used to like it when everybody just used to tune up and tune out and practice their saxophones or whatever at the very beginning. And often Brian Eno would use the practice bits as the main bits, even if they sounded a little bit off kilter and a little bit off tune. So I think that's really interesting that, you know, we can have these happy mistakes and it's brilliant. And that often is what creates the individual sound of that person. And it's the same with art. You might be painting a painting and then, you get the wrong colour or you don't think you've mixed it up correctly, or suddenly there's a splodge that appears, or you do a brushstroke and it ends up going over the line, for instance, and then that becomes the intrinsic part, the actual bit that ties the whole piece together. So I think we have to kind of keep our eyes and ears open for those kinds of adjustments that change everything. What is the test an artist uses in those crucial moments during the process? How do you know when the work and the working is good? How can you tell when you're moving in the right direction? What does forward motion look like? You could say it's a feeling, an inner voice, a silent whisper that makes you laugh, an energy that enters the room and possesses the body. Call it joy, awe, or elation. When a sense of harmony and fulfillment suddenly prevails, it is an arising of the ecstatic. The ecstatic is our compass, pointing to our true north. It arises genuinely in the process of creation. You're working and struggling and suddenly you notice a shift, a revelation. A small tweak is made, a new angle is revealed, and it takes your breath away. It can arise from even the most seemingly mundane detail, the change of a word in a sentence. Instantly, the passage morphs from nonsense to poetry, and everything falls into place. It's a bit like life, isn't it, really? You think everything's nonsense, and then suddenly something, boom, it happens, something changes, something shifts, and everything just kind of slots into place. An artist will be in the throes of creation, and the work may seem unremarkable for a while. Suddenly, a shift occurs, or a moment's revealed, and the same piece now seems extraordinary. So little was needed to make the leap from mediocrity to greatness. The leap can't always be understood, but when it happens, it's clear and enlivening. Oh, sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry about that. This can occur at any point during a project. You may be moving along in the neutral zone for some time. You hit a new note, like my sneeze, and suddenly you feel magnetised. You're engaged. You lean forward and feel a rush of energy, like an unanswered prayer. Like an answered prayer. Forget that, not unanswered. This feeling is the affirmation that you're on the right path. It's a nudge to keep going, a sign that you're working in the direction of greatness, and there is deeper truth in what you're doing. It's grounded in something worthy. This epiphany is the heart of creativity. It's something we feel in our whole body. It causes us to snap to attention and quicken our heartbeat, or to laugh in surprise. It gives us a glimpse of a higher ideal, opening new possibilities in us that we didn't know were there. It's so invigorating that it makes all of the laborious, less interesting parts of work worth doing. We are mining for these events, the moments when the dots connect. We revel in the satisfaction of seeing the whole shape come into clear focus. The nature of the ecstatic is animalistic, a visceral, body-centered reaction, not a cerebral one. It doesn't have to make sense. It's not meant to be understood. It's there to guide us. The intellect may help complete the work, and it may decipher what's driving our delight in hindsight, but the making of art depends on getting out of our heads. Part of the beauty of creation is that we can surprise ourselves and make something greater than we're capable of understanding at the time, if we ever can. Latent ideas and emotions hiding in deeper layers of the psyche may find their way into our lyrics, scenes and canvases. Many artists come to realise long after their work is released that it was actually a shockingly vulnerable and cryptic form of public confession. A part of themselves was trying to find resolution, or to try and find a voice. The depth of our work doesn't necessarily matter, though when you follow your instinctual bodily reactions, you'll often arrive at a more profound place, or profound places, than you otherwise would. The ecstatic can be experienced in different ways. At times it's a sense of relaxed excitement, like when you're asked a question that you don't know the answer to, and you find yourself responding perfectly from a deeper sense of knowing. A rising energy of the body may create a calm, invigorating confidence. Other times it's a moment of astonishment, when you feel emotions so powerful that you can't believe they're happening. They jolt your reality and push you into a sense of disbelief, like realising you're driving into oncoming traffic. Then there's a third kind, where you're gently transported out of reality without knowing it. While listening to a song, you may find yourself closing your eyes and being taken somewhere. When it ends, you're almost bewildered to find yourself back in your body, as if awakening from a spontaneous dream. Tune into these feelings in your creative work. Look for the reactions within. All of the experiences that occur during the creative process, touching the ecstatic and allowing it to guide your hand, are the most profound and precious. Well, I think that's really well put. It makes it all very clear and all very obvious. And I absolutely agree with what Rick Rubin's saying there. Because it's almost transcendental. Half the time you don't know when it's actually happening, that it's happening. And when you're creating things or making things, if you've ever painted or written or sung in a choir or on your own, played instruments, what have you, sometimes things happen and you don't know where they come from. It's almost as though you're channeling it's all being channeled through you, and then suddenly, boom, there it is. You've written that poem, you've written that short story, you've sung that song, you've played that tune that you didn't even know you could. You didn't even know you had it in you, and there it is. It's almost, I think, like we absorb life, we absorb everything around us. It goes into us. We're like sort of human sponges. We soak it all up. And then if we're in the right mood, the right space, the right place, the right time, those sliding doors of life are actually activated for us on our behalf, just unknowingly, unwittingly. It can all kind of pour out, and there you have it. Something amazing that you can create. And likewise, if you go into a museum and you see a painting that's been painted by somebody, you can stand in front of that painting and almost the vibrations in the room raise, the vibrations in your body, every cell of your body is changed and transformed. It's like you meld with that painting or with that sculpture, that piece of artwork. Same with cinema, opera, theatre. You can be completely transported into another realm, and it's really extraordinary. And music is obviously one of the best places that kind of best creative kind of devices that triggers that memory bank of sound and takes us and makes us drift off into wherever it wants to lead us or wherever we've been in the past. It's quite incredible, isn't it? That we can reach that kind of level of ecstasy, reach that level of kind of inner peace, and sort of almost like divine touch by being creative, by listening, watching, immersing and being part of a creative environment, whether, like I said, theatre, whether it's a museum, gallery or concert, or whether we're actually being creative ourselves. It's actually brilliant, and it's just a life force. It's amazing in itself. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It's from Rick Rubin's fantastic book. I love it. I love dipping into it. It's a really good little thing to have, and it's so easy to read, and it's just so clear. Anyway, I hope you have the lovely rest of your day. Lots of love. Bye.